Hey guys, welcome back to the Yarnquisitions Knitting Podcast. I'm Celine, who is your host. As always, what I'm wearing today, I'm wearing my cardigan, the agnete. Don't know how it's pronounced in Danish. It's by Petite Knit, and I'm wearing it over Sari Nordlund's kuutar sweater pullover. And yeah, it's my outfit today. And I'm wearing it with my high-waisted corduroy pants, which is like one of two high-waisted pants that I have. I just have skirts. So for my finished objects, I can finally show you these socks. Like a month ago, I finished them, but I couldn't show it to you because it was a secret test knit and it wasn't out yet, but it's been out for like a month, I think. And because it got delayed-ish, and yeah, I was just waiting for the designer to let us know when it would be okay to post, but I've been posting on my Instagram. So yeah, it's very nice. Oh, got that sunlight on. And it fits really well, even though my stitch gauge varies from like 33 or like 32 to, no, it's 34 stitches to 36 per 10 centimeters. And my row gauge is like very different from hers, or not too much, maybe like a few stitches, like 1 or 2 stitches off or something. And I knit size 6, which is supposed to fit a foot circumference of 8 or something. Or no, that's the Finnish sock circumference is 8 inches. But my foot circumference is in between that. It's like 8.5, 9-ish. And it's my first time using DPNs, and there's still like a ridge where the DPNs were, but it's not so bad on like the edges here, but it's really bad on like the flat portions for some reason, especially where you put in like the afterthought heel. I'm not sure why. And it's the same on the other sock, like the ridge is like especially bad at the beginning of round. And I'm not sure about the afterthought heel, like the function is fine, but the fit is very odd. There's like way too much fabric for the heel, in my opinion. Even though it's like a square piece of fabric, it's too square for like to fit the roundness of your heel. Either that, or I should have just done less rows. If I do an afterthought heel again, I might just do like a heel flap and gusset, because that fits just way better for me. But then I think I would have to Kitchener stitch one side or something. But that's just a thought. Like I'm not even working on another sock, and this is the grain socks by the Petite Knitter, if I haven't said that already. And I used kroy socks in the color brown rose marl, and I used the leftover from Lavender Fabric Company Dreamy sock base in the color nuri and vintage florals. So yeah, like you can't see the color change in the color work, but you can definitely see it in the heel and the toe of each. So the heel is the same, but I ran out like over here about of the nuri, so I had to switch to vintage florals, and I finished it in the vintage florals for the heel and toe, but since I knitted the both heels after I finished both socks, that's why this heel is also vintage floral, but the toe is in nuri. So yeah, and then I just did everything to pattern, even this part. Oh, except for the cuff, I just doubled it over. So I knit twice as long as in the pattern. And then knit two together with the cast on edge. Yeah, they're pretty comfy, and yeah, they're super wash wools, so they're quite easy to wash. You just have to dry them. And I don't think this changed shape at all in the wash, so that's good. It doesn't grow for me, at least. I've heard that superwash wools grow a lot for other people, but it's never grew at all. But maybe it grows more if it's in a sweater because it's heavier, but for socks, it's a-okay. And for my other finished objects, I finished the grain sweater jumper. It's out now, so I can show it, but I haven't steam blocked it or anything. And when I wore it yesterday, this part where it buckles a lot, especially when you're wearing it. So like when you like lift your arms and stuff, it like bunches right here. So that's kind of unpleasant and makes it harder to wear, in my opinion. Because all the increases are in this section. So that makes this section have a ton of like fabric, like unnecessary fabric. So if I knit this again, I would like take away some of the like 1 or 2 rows of increases here and like put it after this color work section. But you'd have to like fudge the numbers because it wouldn't be like graded for that. Yeah, there's just too much fabric here, which is kind of a bummer because in the pictures that she showed, there is no bunching, but I don't know how or why that happened. Maybe I just need to steam block it, but then like it would just grow more, so the bunching would exaggerate, or the bunching would be exacerbated because it grow wider. So I don't know. And because I use Fisherman's Wool by Lion Brand, it's like it has like a lot of memory, so all the 1x1 ribbing is all bunched up still, no matter how much I stretch it, because I haven't blocked it or washed it. And instead of doing like a regular cast on, I did the Italian cast on. I did 2 double knit rows, so it's like a tubular without being tubular. And I messed up right here, so oh well, or at the beginning of the round. And I did the same for the accent color on the hem. And yeah, and I did that for the sleeves as well. And the sleeves are kind of fit like really tightly, but again, that can just be solved with blocking, I think. But yeah, it's a little tighter than I thought it would be. But here it's like fine, but again, I still need to stretch it a little bit because it like hugs weirdly on my body and it's not supposed to. So probably gonna have to fiddle with that a little bit in the blocking stage. And this is, if I haven't said already, it's the grain jumper by the Petite knitter. It was a test knit and I was just waiting for it to like come out with the pattern so that I can talk about it. And this is the Levi pullover by Sari Nordlund, and it fits just like in the picture. So I love this little guy or big guy. It's super warm because I knit it with like Aran weight because I use worsted weight yarn plus a strand of like fingering weight yarn, or like a 4-ply yarn. So it's like light fingering weight with all the yarns except for the blue, which is an Aran weight. So it was a worsted weight technically in the pattern. It's because it used Let Lopi by Eastex Lopi, so which is the Icelandic yarn, and just use scraps for this. The only thing that wasn't as a scrap was the Pearl Soho knitting yarn in heirloom white, and the Drops Flora and the JC Rennie super soft in strawberry sherbet. Yeah, and I used 2 Drops Flora in white and white fog, and I still have leftovers of those 2 colors, but they're not like full balls, and I still have the heirloom partial skein of the heirloom white, and very little left of this double soft merino by Knitting for Olive, which is discontinued since 2022. They discontinued it quite a bit ago. Yeah, I highly recommend this pattern if you want that squishy pullover. Like, it's so squishy, so warm. And Sari Nordlund said that she wanted to make like a workhorse sweater basically for like outdoor work or the snow, and I think this really is good for it because you can also you can wear another sweater under it, like the kuutar or like any fitted sweater or fitted garment you can wear under this because there's enough armhole space. Definitely love this. I'll get a lot of use out of it. I've already gotten a lot of use out of it. So yeah, love this guy, so good. My last finished object. And then, so this is my swatch that I knitted with the grain jumper, and it's supposed to be the linen stitch / tweed stitch, or double moss linen stitch, or woven double moss stitch. There's a lot of names. Okay, pillow. So one side would be the linen / tweed stitch, and then the other side would be the woven double moss stitch. I might make another swatch in 6.5 instead of 4mm because it is kind of tight, and I want to use scraps, beef up the yarn a little bit. And it would be a good idea to do a, what's it called, like a double-sided pillowcase, as in you can flip the inside out and use you can use the inside as the outside or whatever, or vice versa. But I don't want to buy zippers or fuss with zippers, so that's probably not gonna happen. So yeah, been dragging my feet on this for sure. Just you could take a little look-see over here too. But this is not one we'll be doing. This was a like twill stitch or twill weave thing, which I just made up, and I just followed a weaving diagram. But I do like it, but just it doesn't really fit this gauge or like density of fabric. So it's probably gonna be its own thing, but it was nice to like work it up. And then I went down this rabbit hole like yesterday, and it's like the Finnish korsnas traditional patterns, and you can make it as like mittens, cardigans, jumpers, like everything. So the base of this Finnish traditional pattern is like you crochet the edges, like this part, the cuff, and then like the ribbing, basically. Like if the button band and like the ribbing, if it was the cardigan, would be crocheted, and then they also knit like the body sections, like this part and this part, but like not the shoulder part or the neck line. So those parts are crocheted. The body sections, or like the inner parts sections, are knitted, probably for like the flexibility of it. And yeah, and the reason why I came across it is on Instagram Reels. There's a video of like 3 or 4 people knitting on the same garment, and everyone was wearing the same cardigan, and they're basically acting as like a knitting machine, but like it's like a social group basically. So I thought that was really cool, and I just tried to find the pattern on Ravelry because the account says it was on Ravelry, and I found it, but the instructions are only in Finnish and Swedish, and I don't want to buy it only to be stumped with the language. So they have very detailed photos, so I'm just gonna use those photos as mittens, but they don't have a sweater pattern for some reason. Okay, I don't know why. So yeah, this is my little swatch, and I used 2mm crochet hook, which is not that fine to me, but then a 2mm needle is very different because it feels much finer than a 2mm crochet hook. I was pretty close to the gauge, I think, because this is like 38, and then the knitting portion is like 40 stitches per 10 centimeters. So that's really close. And considering that knitting can also stretch, I think it's like close enough. So where you block it, it is like the same, what do you call it, circumference. And there's also like a knitting pattern that is based on the korsnas. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, patterns, but it's like someone's individual design. And it's in English, so I could buy that one. And I find it interesting that the crochet, or the Finnish style of crochet, they use only the back loop to crochet through, because instead of using like both loops or both strands of that loop, if you crochet before, they only use the back one, so you have like this like faux ribbing, but it's like horizontal, right? It's a horizontal ribbing, and I'm probably not gonna use the JC Rennie Super Soft, which is the blue here, just because it's a S twist and not a Z twist yarn. So, and the single plies that I have, which is this gray, works up better because it is a Z twist yarn, because it's single. Singles are usually Z twist, and then S twisted to be a balanced yarn. But yeah, because a single is Z twist, so that makes it better to crochet. Like, I didn't understand this like even like a few months ago or last month, but I've heard it like enough where it's like a concept that's out there. Like, all the lace crochet yarn are Z twist. I just never noticed or never really like understood like which direction the yarn goes. But you just focus on the middle section of the letter, and that's the twisting angle, basically. It's either this way or this way. But I noticed that if the S twist is a high twist, then you can still crochet with it, which is like the kroy patons sock yarn, which is this part where I cast it on for the crochet. Yeah, that holds up really well. But yeah, like, crocheting with wool is kind of weird in my opinion, because I'm so used to crocheting with like a hard fiber like cotton, especially mercerized cotton, which is my favorite. But it's really hard to find good quality, high shine mercerized cotton right now, besides Amazon, but they also increase their prices on Amazon. I just wish there's like a better high shine mercerized cotton. But I have seen online that Knit Picks carries something similar, but I don't know how high shine it is, and I haven't bought it, even though it's like on the cheaper end, just because I've been working on sweaters. And okay, so what I'm working on, I totally forgot, my whip is another test knit, secret test knit though, and I'm have 2 left, and I'm working on my second ball of this yarn, which is the Typical Bliss, my knitting book on eco fingering.